everyone, my name is Jade, and today I would like to offer you some insight into the COVID-19 vaccine. I was able to interview 8 friends from around the world in 4 different countries taking 5 different vaccines, and basically they're just going to share their experiences as well as any side effects they may or may not have had. Hopefully this can help you make an informed decision if you would like to get vaccinated or not, or anything like that. If you find it helpful, please leave a comment down in the comment section, like or subscribe, any of that. The vaccines in today's video include Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, BioNTech, and Sinopharm. So there are 5 here. Everyone in this video got vaccinated between December 2020 and September of 2021. So, all right, buckle up, let's get ready.
Good morning. So yesterday I got my COVID-19 vaccine, Pfizer, the first one. You can actually check out that vlog up here. EJ and I got it together, and today I actually feel fine. I just feel a little bit sleepy and a little bit sore in my arm. But yeah, anyway, you can see I don't have a fever. That's good.
Hi, I'm EJ, the friend of Jade. So I want to share my personal experience after getting the first dose. So the day I get vaccinated, I didn't feel any side effects after getting vaccinated. So I live the same life as usual. I just feel a little bit or sore arm, but not high temperature. But after 4 days later, I don't know why, but I feel a little bit tired and have a high temperature. So that's why I visited your doctor. And today is August 10. It's been 2 weeks that I get vaccinated. But I don't know why, but I still have some fever over 37.8. So yesterday I went to the doctor to check my urine and blood test, and tomorrow I will get the result, and I wonder how it's going. And anyway, the symptom was, I think it depends on the person's health. Yeah, that's all.
Hi YouTube, this is Becky. So I'm with the state of Colorado's rapid response team for COVID-19. Been on it for about 1.5 years now. So I got the flu-like symptoms for 2 days, both doses, but that's perfectly normal. It's also normal to not get those symptoms. It's honestly different for everyone. So the one thing I have to point out is that the contraindications are there for a reason. So if you have an autoimmune disorder, definitely discuss it with your doctor before you get the vaccine. But weigh the risks and benefits, because it may be that you're better off getting the vaccine and not risking getting infected with COVID-19. So yeah, just talk with your doctor, and we're gonna get through this. There's research being done on the boosters and how that will affect people with autoimmune disorders as well. So we're all working really hard to make sure everyone's safe.
Hi everyone, this is Jiali, or Iris. I live in Denver, Colorado, and I am so excited to be here to share my thoughts on COVID and vaccines with you guys today. So with cases rising again, I think it's so important for everyone to go get vaccinated if you haven't done so. And I encourage everyone to get vaccinated. Because we're all so over wearing masks and this whole pandemic. That's almost 2 years now. But yeah, I know a lot of friends around the world who want to get vaccinated, and they can't. They're experiencing a shortage in their country. So I think we're so lucky. Living in America, we have several options to choose, which vaccines to take. So which vaccines I took? I did Johnson & Johnson. Initially, I was supposed to do Moderna because last December, so I was working for the public health department, and I get to get vaccinated first on the first phase, and that was like 2 weeks after I recovered from COVID. And I was like, should I get vaccinated? Should I not? Because it's like not a lot of people got vaccinated back in December, and I didn't know how I'm gonna feel after I get vaccinated, because I heard like crazy stories from my coworkers, and yeah, that kind of pushed me away from like wanting to get vaccinated. So then the months after months, I'm like, oh, I have so many trips planned. I was like, okay, might as well go get vaccinated first to keep my family safe and my friends who I'm going to visit. And so yeah, I did Johnson & Johnson a few months later, and my side effects was mild. I had chills and I had a really bad headache and I felt extremely tired, but that only lasted like a day. And then, yeah, the next day I was totally fine. I know a lot of people didn't want to get vaccinated because they feel like it's going to change their body or their health. But I just want to say that no, like I feel totally healthy and fine right now. Like I haven't gotten sick, and I am someone, listen, like seriously, I am someone who don't even get like flu shots every year. I haven't got vaccinated, like any kind of vaccines in like 10 plus years. And so yeah, I think it's so important to get it because this pandemic won't end if you don't do your part.
The vaccine I take is Sinopharm. This is a Chinese medicine for the manufacturer, and it's better than Sinovac. And I think that the side effect is also, at first I feel sleepy and numb, but both 2 shots I got no side effect. No tiredness, no sickness. And it's kind of good experience. Maybe I should at the factory, like one of my friend's factory. And yeah, it's pretty normal. Everything is also, I got no sickness and I don't know any other symptom, but overall it's good.
Hi, my name is Amber and I'm a nurse in Denver, Colorado. I got the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine in December. After the first injection, I had some tenderness in my left arm and I was pretty tired for the rest of the day. I did do both of my vaccines after working 3 night shifts, so it is hard to tell if that tiredness was from the injection or from being at work 3 nights in a row. My second time, I got it in my dominant arm and I did some arm exercises and really felt no soreness there, just tired. I chose to get vaccinated for multiple reasons. First and foremost was to protect myself as I work amongst COVID positive patients on my unit. And secondly, I want to protect my friends and family and continue to do the things I love, such as travel. My family is spread out and I have some elderly parents, and I want to make sure that if I did see them during the pandemic, that I was able to help make sure that they stayed protected and safe, and as myself as well.
Hello, my name is Josh and I'm an infectious disease pharmacist in Denver, Colorado. I was vaccinated with Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine December of 2020. After the first dose, I was pretty tired. I went home and pretty much went to bed right away, but the next day I woke up and felt fine. After the second dose, I was equally as tired, but I also had a little bit of a fever, but I went straight to bed and it was gone the next morning. And I got vaccinated because I wanted to protect those that I love, such as my friends and family, and also to protect the patients that I care for every day. So I hope this inspired you and encouraged you all to go out and get your COVID-19 vaccination as well.
Hi guys, I'm Nelly. And I am currently in Taiwan now, but I was exchange student in Berlin from March to July, and I took 2 vaccines in Berlin, and I took the BNT. And I think, yeah, it's quite good experience. I didn't feel any like unbearable, uncomfortable feeling. So I took the first shot in the beginning of June. And I think the side effect is not that obvious. It's just feel tired after 4 hours, and I took a lot of water, and I just stay at home and lying on the bed, sleep. So my arm was sore, of course, but apart from that, I didn't feel any like bad experience, and I slept a lot the next day. So that's the first shot of the side effect. And the second one, I took it at the mid of July, and I think the second one, the side effect of the second dose, it's stronger, of course, because it's biotech. So the second one, I think it's after 12 hours, and my friend also experienced that, like after 12 hours was super tired, and I just went to bed, and it's around midnight. So during the midnight, I woke up and I feel cold, but I also got a little bit like fever, but not that uncomfortable. So just need to like take the blanket even it's during the summer. And I drank a lot of water, around 2 liters. So I bought 2 huge bottles of water from the supermarket before I took the vaccine, and because I know I will feel I would like to drink some. I know I will feel thirsty after the vaccine. So like during the midnight, I just feel a little bit dizzy and like sore, not only the left arm but the whole body. But I know it's the side effect. And also when I take the vaccine, the doctor told me I can prepare some like pain reliever in advance, so that once I feel uncomfortable, I just take it, because like we already know the side effect. Okay, I changed the place to continue my sharing. So after the 12 hours in the middle of night, I felt my whole body was really sore, and then I get fever. I got fever as well, but at the same time I felt cold, so I need to get the blanket as well. And I couldn't sleep well, because it's like you got a serious cold, and then you just under the weather. But I know that happened, so I took the pain relievers and then drank a lot of water. So the next day, I woke up to the normal time, like around 8 or 9 o'clock a.m., but I still feel uncomfortable. So I just drank water again and slept, and just took a rest the whole morning. But in the afternoon, I remember that I did go out to meet friends and so on. So everything was normal, but just feel a little bit exhausted. And then I think my arm was sore for 2 or 3 days, and after that everything is fine. And then I remember that the doctor told me I cannot move any furniture or do exercise in a week. So like I just took a rest the 7 days, and yeah, I think so get the vaccine is not that terrible as we heard, and because you know what kind of side effect might happen to you, so you just be prepared for the pain reliever and then water, and remember to take a lot of rest as much as you can, and I think it's fine. And so now I feel relieved, because I'm fully vaccinated. So even though I still need to take airplane to other places, I know that I just protect myself by wearing a mask and wash my hand often, and then use the disinfection liquid like the alcohol often, and then clean everything before I used. Then I know like everything will be fine, and I don't need to be panic. Like even though in Taiwan we're still in the 2nd level for the lockdown, but I still feel safe, because I know like I am protected, and like I know how to protect myself from this virus by like cleaning and disinfected. So yeah, that's my feeling after get the two vaccines.
Hi everyone. So Jade has asked me to talk about my experience receiving the COVID-19 vaccine here in the United States. So I figured I'd give you a quick look about how we distribute the vaccine here in the United States and how you can sign up for an appointment, and 2, what my experience was like at the doctor's office once I got there. So we were able to start distributing Pfizer, which was the first vaccine available to the United States around the end of 2020, very early January 2021. And each state will have its own system of how it chooses to distribute the vaccine. So here in Colorado, which is where I live, for example, we had 3-phase system. So the first phase would include healthcare workers and the elderly. So these are the most at-risk populations. Phase 2 would include people with immunocompromised diseases such as heart disease, lung disease, so on and so forth, and those that are required by their work to be in high contact with other people. So for example, daycare workers, teachers, grocery store staff, this kind of job, you could say, would qualify them for phase 2. And then phase 3 would be the general population, of which I was included in. So here in Colorado, of course, we went through phase 1 by around January, February, phase 2 by about March, April time. And then finally by April, which is where I was able to get the vaccine, we finally reached phase 3, which is the general population. And when you think about how are you going to sign up for a vaccine, what typically happens is that your local government will make an announcement, or in my case, the Colorado governor went online and live broadcasted the announcement that, okay, phase 3 is in action, or phase 3 is now open to the general public. So from this point, you have 2 options. One, you can go through your healthcare insurance provider, which is what most professionals would do. And it's also what I did because I'm going through, again, my own healthcare system. Or 2, you can go to your local pharmacy that is distributing or administering the vaccine, because they will have nurses on staff that can help you out with that. So those are your 2 options. When I went through my healthcare provider, they also had a very somewhat confusing and somewhat complex system, but simply you would answer a questionnaire that would qualify you for which phase you were in. But obviously by this point, phase 3 was in effect. So that survey didn't do too much, but you go ahead and answer the survey, and then based on those results, you will be entered into a list or into a queue for a vaccine appointment. And at the time, it was very discouraging because I think I was around maybe 15,000, 16,000 something place in the queue. So I simply, once I heard about the announcement, I signed up and hoped for the best and thought that maybe I can get a vaccine this month or next month or whenever my healthcare provider can get something for me. But to my biggest surprise, even I think not even 2 or 3 days later, I was able to get the email that confirmed that, okay, I'm liable to sign up for a vaccine appointment, which I did on that spot. And then I chose some afternoon appointment 2 or 3 days later. So fast forward to my experience at the doctor's office, what you will do, this was again a time when we were wearing masks everywhere. You go in with your mask and sanitized hands up to the front desk, and they will check you in and ask, are you here for a vaccine appointment? Are you here for general care? And in my case, it's a vaccine appointment. So they sent me up to the second level, which is where they were administering the vaccine. And there is, again, a queue that's spaced 6 feet apart, and a nurse at the front, which asks what's your name? What time is your appointment? And he had my vaccine card already prepared for me. So I took my vaccine card and he sent me to the nurse that was administering the vaccine. I gave her my card. She asked some basic questions about my general health and if I had any adverse reactions. And then she administered the vaccine. So then she signed off on the card and told me that my next appointment will be exactly 1 month from that particular day, because I was able to get Moderna and not Pfizer. So at that point, they send you off to a waiting room, which is either usually in that same area where the nurse is or in the room next door. And they ask you to stay there for about 30 minutes. The reason being is that they want to make sure that they have direct access to you should you have an adverse effect, or should you react with an allergy or react not so well to the vaccine that you received that day. So you sit there for about 30 minutes. I never saw anyone have any adverse reaction, and then after that you're free to go. And that's about how it went for me. If you have any questions, then feel free to contact me or ask Jade. I'm sure she can tell you a lot about that. Okay.